Hey guys, it's Woody. Again. So, still kind of getting settled into my truck. Uh, I've got pretty much everything hooked up, and I just gave it a wash. So now it's nice and clean. We went through a bunch of snow and dirt and rain, so it gets dirty pretty easily. But yeah. So, and then I have my CB at home, which I'm going to have to install once I get there. But pretty much everything else is done. I just realized I had the light on. But everything else is done. So, as I said, it's got like a table, and it's like a booth. It's a booth setup, and it's got a bed on top, as you can see. And I think I'm just gonna leave it like that and sleep on the top, because the top mattress is a lot softer. And when the Big Bad Wolf got his truck, it had this mattress in it. He prefers a firmer mattress. I prefer a softer one, so it made sense to swap them out. So now with this mattress, this truck, that thing can't, it doesn't lift up and lock like it's supposed to. But that's okay, because I mean, the whole time I've been in this truck, it's been down anyway, and it's not really taking up any space. And you can't really stand up at the table anyway. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. The cool thing about this, rather than the Freightliner, is this one has a ladder that tucks away. It like literally it just folds up and tucks away. Whereas the Freightliner, you have to, there's like a cubby hole area where you can keep all your stuff. On the edge of that cubby hole is a textured plastic plate, and you put your foot up on that and then hop up on the top bunk. That was kind of frustrating. Not to mention a little bit difficult. And if it's dark and you're trying to get down, you're searching for that thing. And if you got, like when I had my trainer with me, he had his stuff down there, so I gotta like be careful not to step on any of his stuff. And so it was just a hassle. So yeah, I got this puppy cleaned. Now I'm just gonna, I probably will do it as I go along, put things where they fit, where they make sense. Right now I've just got everything, jackets in the closet, and my clean clothes, my dirty clothes are all put into their places. But yeah, so this company is not one of those mega carriers like you see all over the road. And like what I'm used to. What I've experienced during these past 2 weeks is completely different. You get your load. They text it to you, or they email it to you. Sometimes both. Just depends on the dispatcher. And also, this one you're not assigned like a driver manager. It's whoever has a load that is in the area that you're in, or going where you're going, they just send it to you. So it's pretty cool like that. And that's the last you hear from them until you get to where you're going. There's none of the other little micromanaging stuff that really gets on your nerves. And so it's basically up to you to get there on time. And another difference between this and the other company is this one, like, I'd say 9 times out of 10, or even 19 times out of 20, you call the receiver. You call say, hey, I'm going to be there tomorrow morning. Any special instructions? Is there room to park? Because sometimes you get there, the night before and you unload in the morning. So you might just park on property and, wake up and go to work. So, that's also a responsibility that you take on here. The last company I was at, you weren't allowed to. You weren't allowed to call. Even though they give you a phone number, a contact number, and all that stuff, you're not allowed to call them. So why give me the phone number, But anyway, so a lot more freedom. A lot more freedom. And, a little bit more responsibility. I'm not going to say a whole lot of responsibility because, it's pretty much the point is to get there on time with your cargo intact. That's where the more responsibility comes into play, because before I was doing dry van and reefer. Once it's sealed, there's not really anything that you need to do. With this one, you tarp, you strap, you chain. Every time you stop, you got to check all of that. You check it. If it needs to be tightened, you tighten it. If it needs to be retarped, you retarp it. Or usually you don't have to retarp, but you tighten it up here and there. So that's a big responsibility that you have to deal with. And of course, better pay. Not only am I getting paid more cents per mile, but I'm getting a lot more miles. And a lot of that comes with the responsibility. They pay you more because you're physically doing more. So that's cool. But I want to say, like, this company is amazing. The owner, I think he's the owner. Every time he sees me, he stands up, he shakes my hand. How are you doing? How are you liking it? We chit chat. He does, everyone else, he'll go out there, he'll help tarp, and real friendly, real accommodating. They actually brought pizza in earlier, and they came and told us before it got here, hey, this afternoon we're going to have pizza. Well, I forgot about it. I'm working with my truck and everything, and the boss comes over, and he's in his golf cart, comes over, honks, and he's like, hey, eat. So I was like, all right, cool. So they take care of guys out here. I've heard so many stories from not just Big Bad Wolf, but the mechanics. They take care of people here. You need anything, you ask. It's no big deal. You're not like imposing anything on anybody, like what I'm used to. You need something done on your truck, you go to the shop and they're like, oh, well, we can't get it in, or can't you just do this, or we got to route you somewhere else because we're not equipped to do that. They have everything here. And if it's a warranty issue, they just send it back to the company, to the dealership. And it's simple. You're not putting a burden on anybody, and they hop on it. They're not like, okay, we'll get to it when we can. They're like, all right, I'm on it, and they're on it. So it's pretty cool here, and it's not a big shop. They don't have a whole lot of guys in the shop, but they get the job done. So really, really, really pleased with this company. Very pleased with this company. And my stepdad had been begging me for a year to come over, and I was just scared. I was afraid of the change. I was comfortable where I was at. It was easy and everything. But I came over here and we rock and rolled, literally. But no, we got on it, and I think this is going to work out. Um, I just saw the pay stub for my first full check, and pretty happy with it. You know, even if I were to break that down into, because I get paid bi-weekly here, whereas before I got paid weekly, and even if I were to break it down to weekly, I'm making more. You know, I'm making more. So, and now I'm gonna be making a little bit more, if not the same, because before we were running team, we got paid as team. But I'm gonna be making some more money, and that's what I'm out here doing. You know, with the other company, it didn't seem worth it to me with the money that I was making to be gone for that long away from home. You know, if I'm gonna be gone for such a long time, I might as well be, you know, might as well have something to show for it. And you know, being with this company, it's gonna make that possible. And you know, again, that goal of my wife not having to work, I can actually see that coming to pass, you know, in the next few months, possibly. You know, she doesn't want to quit working. She's always been working since she was a kid. So, you know, and she's just one of those people. She gets up, she hits the floor, and she's going. And whether it's her day off or not, she just goes. So she doesn't want to quit working, and honestly, it'd probably bug her to not have a job. But, you know, she misses me when I'm on the road, and if she can come with me, then she won't miss me so much. And you know, get to see the country. And with this company, you see a lot more of the country. We went literally, you know, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, home. Well, you know, home here, and then back to the East Coast, back home. You know, that was 2 weeks of team driving. And usually, how my stepdad works it out is he'll get loaded, go East Coast, West Coast, South, and then home. Sometimes it's just East Coast, West Coast, home. So, but he also lives where the terminal is, or at least in the area, so it's easier for him to get home. He can even, you know, come here, pick up a load, and sit on it for a day or so while he's at home. So he gets home more often, but he's not really home, like home time home. He's still got a load under him. He just can camp out at home more often. And it might be like that with me because they have a lot of loads coming out of where I live. Not a whole lot going in, but they got a lot of stuff going out. So I might be able to do that, you know, go pick up a load and sit on it for a day or two. Probably a day. But like technically right now, if it was up to me, I would be driving right now. But you know, I talked to the dispatcher yesterday, and he said it might be a good idea for me to get a 34-hour reset, and that way I can drop this load off, pick up another one, and go home. Whereas if I didn't have a 34-hour reset, I'd have to drop this load off, take a 34-hour reset, and then, you know, go pick up my load and then go home. So I'd be, you know, sitting, waiting anyway. So at least here I'm able to work on my truck, wash it, eat. Excuse me, I'm still digesting. So yeah, pretty cool, man. This has been a long video, I know, and I haven't put one up for a while. So I'm gonna start putting some water in the fridge. My stepdad left me bunch of food. You know, I already had picked out what I was gonna hang on to, and he's like, yeah, I left you all of this, I left you this. I was like, okay. So thank you, Big Bad. And he's got a pretty spiffy truck over there. But I'm glad I got this one, because this one's still new. He got this one new. And he hasn't even had it that long, a couple of months. So, but he got a brand new one again, like I said in my other video. So, good job there. I'm happy, guys. So, if you're out there, I know a few of you guys, you know, some of you I went to school with, some of you, you know, I talked to otherwise, but you guys out there working for those mega carriers making 26 or 35 cents per mile, yeah, you know who you are. You might want to come to the dark side. Flatbedding, small companies, you know, the smaller companies, they usually pay you more. And flatbedding definitely pays you more. Even if you're in one of those mega carrier companies and they have a flatbedding division, do that, because you're going to get paid more. Usually, if you're not getting paid more to flatbed, then don't do it, because it is more work. And I don't see the point in getting paid the same to do more. But yeah, definitely look for something else, guys. Mega carriers are great for, you know, your first year. Get those miles under your belt, get the experience, get comfortable, but don't get complacent. That's what I was doing. I was just comfortable where I was at, and suffering because of it. So don't do that. Be good to yourself. Alright, reach for the sky. Thank a trucker.